Hey YouTube, this is Wrestling and Amusement Park Fan 62. Halloween 2020. This year's Halloween is on a Saturday. And right now, I don't know what to expect when it comes to trick or treating. We're still a good about 3 months out. So we still have a while before we know what to expect. But in the meantime, I'd like to give my thoughts on what I think could possibly happen and stuff like that. Now, depending on the state that you live in, with current circumstances, some states may have already told haunted houses, among other things, not to open up for this year. Which is a shame because they probably already spent who knows how much money on new attractions for this year. And so they were trying to make their money back. Now, I wish them the very best. Now, as far as trick-or-treating is concerned, I still do think that will happen, but it's just going to be a unique circumstance for this year, just because we still may be in what's going on at the time. So I still do think masks are going to be part of it, as well as states coming up with guidelines for it. Now, stuff like malls, trick-or-treating may not happen just because they don't typically want to have a lot of people like that in a small space. But stuff like trick-or-treating, going house to house, I still think can happen. Social distancing will be an interesting thing to see for that, as well as companies coming up with interesting costume ideas for masks as well. Or I think we'll probably see Halloween themed masks as well. But it's going to be a challenge as far as what is going to happen, because we don't know what every day brings. That is the thing. Halloween is still like 3 months and 2 weeks out. So anything can change between now leading up to then. There's probably going to be some parents who won't feel comfortable sending their children out to trick or treat like normal, so they're going to have them stay home. Now I know that won't be in the kids' favor, but it's going to be what's best. Now, not all parents are going to do that, but probably some of them will. Now, Halloween parties, I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen with those, because I do know for at least places like Party City, among others, those are a big source of revenue for them, like decorations, among other things, every year. I still do think Halloween parties can happen. They're just probably going to get really scaled back, like maybe 50 people or something. But it's going to be a challenge. I still do think they will happen, but it's going to be one of those where we don't exactly know right now. And with Halloween being on a Saturday, this year is going to be an interesting one as well, because kids don't have to worry about going to school or going to work the next day. So therefore, they can be out later. So, I do think trick-or-treating will maybe be one of those this year where kids will be out later. Now, unless you live in a town that really regulates that sort of thing, or is one of those that is like, says you can only trick-or-treat from this time to this time. That could happen as well, but it is to be seen. And lastly, I do expect this year there will probably be more pumpkin spice themes. You're still getting your traditional pumpkin spice latte, pumpkin spice this and that, but I still do think a lot more of that stuff will be, and there will be a lot more candy out and on shelves than normal because of Halloween being on a Saturday. Now, the problem that a lot of people are going to face in this situation is, with still a humongous unemployment number in there, how are people going to afford candy? And I do feel like people will still give out candy to kids, but I feel like for some people they will go the cheaper route, and instead of buying like a big old bag from Walmart for $10, they'll go to the dollar store and buy those, because those are like an off-brand and they're like $1 or something. So, that is just some thoughts, but it is to be seen as of now. We will know more over the coming 2 months, 2.5 months from now, and we'll go from there.